All right, moving right along. Kevin Hassett, National Economic Council Director and dear friend. Kevin, thanks for coming on. So, Kevin, when are you going to pull the trigger where furloughs become firing? There's about 750,000 some odd federal employees, non-military federal employees. We've talked to Russ Vought about this at some length. Everybody wants to see the government bloat come down. It seems like stubborn Democrats, this is a great opportunity. Give us your take. Why not?
Well,
what are you waiting for?
Well, first of all, I'd like to commend you for your interview with Senator Thune and remind that it's the job of the senator to do what Senator Thune just did, which is to be, in the Constitution, a voice of moderation. They're there for 6 years. They're supposed to be the adults in the room. And you can see that with Senator Thune. But think about this. We were talking about how we got clean CRs under Biden 13 times. What that means is that Republicans voted to keep the government open over and over and over again. And subject to my Excel skills failing me, I counted the Republican votes, or the votes for those continuing resolutions, and they averaged in the 80s. And so, like, the vast majority of Republicans voted for it. And now here we are in the third shutdown when the the Democrats in the Senate are trying to close the government to harm President Trump. And so they're absolutely the opposite of moderation, right? They're becoming the source of problem. And it's because the far left is controlling the senators right now. And we've got to get the government open. That's number one for us, is to get the government open. And then if we can't do it, then there are options on the table. But nobody wants that. We want to get the pay to the military families. We want to get the food to the children that need their formula. We want all that to happen. And we want the governments to stop the Democrats to stop the shutdown.
All right. Well, here's what Kevin Hassett said on CNN yesterday. Take a listen, please.
If the president decides that the negotiations are absolutely going nowhere, then there will start to be layoffs. But I think that everybody's still hopeful that when we get a fresh start at the beginning of the week, that we can get the Democrats to see that it's just common sense to avoid layoffs like that. And so I think that we think the Democrats, there's a chance that they'll be reasonable once they get back into town on Monday. And if they are, then I think there's no reason for those layoffs.
Well, I think, Kevin, from the standpoint of messaging, look, nobody loves shutdowns. I get that, okay? Nobody wants military people to miss their paychecks. I get that, too. On the other hand, you have an opportunity to turn non-essentials into permanent non-essentials. If they're non-essential, Kevin, why do you need them? I mean, a lot of people are asking that. Furloughs can be fired. There may be buyouts or ways to do it, but this is an opportunity, it seems to me, to shrink the size and scope of the government, to bring down non-essential employees, to bring down non-essential programs. Not to be punitive, but because it's good government policy. It's pro-economic growth.
Well, Larry, as you know, we've been doing that. We've been through regular order. We've been making government more efficient and stopping the waste of Americans' taxpayers' money. But don't forget that we've reduced federal government employment by maybe about 250,000 already this year, but we've done that under regular order. So right now, we want a clean continuing resolution. We want the government open. The House has already passed the bill. The Senate needs to pass that bill, too. That's what we're focused on.
But in the absence, I mean, I've talked to Russ Vought about this, and he sent that circular around. In the absence of a funding bill, the president has the executive authority to do, I would say, very positive things for the government, for the taxpayer, and for the economy. I mean, really, I don't see why you're not being a little more aggressive on this whole point.
Well, we've been super aggressive already through regular order, and we've made an enormous amount of progress with the reduction in the federal employment. And so the point is that right now we're focused on getting the government open, and that's 100% what we're focused on. But if the Democrats won't let us get the government open, if the military families start not getting their paychecks, the babies don't get their formula, then the president has options on the table that he's hoping that he won't have to use.
So you're not going to pull the trigger tomorrow or the next day?
you'll have to talk to the president about that.
Just asking. Just thought I'd ask. I know you're close to him. Kevin Hassett, Director of the National Economic Council. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it very much.